When the lower part of the brain gets activated, what happens? Your executive function drops, and then your brain might go into fear. Once you are able to handle uncertainty in business, then you know how to move to the next level. Welcome back to Brain and Business, where we teach you exactly how to use your brain to grow your business to the next level. So today I'm going to discuss about a conflict inside of your brain and how you could handle this conflict and grow your business to the next level in the process. So if you look at business, generally, when you look at business growth is in a certain way versus employment growth. So think about employment growth. Employment growth is like this. Gradually, it is growing. It's stable, right? It feels good because every month, every 2 weeks, every week, depending upon how you get paid, you get paid. You make gradual progress, and then you're happy. And somebody is getting a discount on your value. What does that mean? Which means if your value that you're providing is, let's say, $20,000, to give you an example, and they could get you for $10,000 and then use you as a resource, manage you efficiently, and then grow their business and make a profit out of it. That's how employment work. Business is slightly different. So if the graph is like this, business is slightly different. In business, what happens is when you start business, what happens is your income might even go down for some time. It might be less than employment. And then you might stay here, right? And then you might stay here. And then it starts improving. Okay? It starts improving. And then it starts going up like this. This is how business journey is. So because business journey is like that, it goes down and down and down, and you get scared. You get afraid. You feel like you're not making progress. You feel like you are like, oh my gosh, why did I get into this? I was making that much money. Especially a lot of people who start business, they start business because they were really good at something. They were really good artists or technicians. They were really good in managing people. They were really good at selling. They were really good at inventing something. They were really good at research. Probably that's how you started business. And then all of a sudden, where is the money? It's uncertain, right? When that happens, business becomes uncertainty. It becomes uncertainty. So when business becomes uncertainty, you get scared. So you go into your lower part of your brain. So when life is uncertain, for example, you're walking by and all of a sudden, you might have heard this part, like all of a sudden, you see a snake. You see a snake, and this is a snake's head. And all of a sudden, your logical brain, the front area of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, are smart and intelligent. It is slower to process because the front area of brain process data slower than lower part of the brain. So immediately your body is sending the sensation, oh my gosh, we need to survive. There is a snake, because we don't know biologically. Evolutionary fear is coming up. It's like, let's protect ourselves. So if you were to go to the executive command, to the front of your brain, and then figure out what to do, you're too late already. You're dead. That cannot happen. So in microseconds, the body brain figures out and it passes the message back to the lower part of your brain and convey to that brain that there is a snake. And all of a sudden, the lower part of the brain says, oh, no, that's not a snake. It's a stick. How many times did you have this thing happen to you? Like you're walking by, you thought it was a snake, then it's not a snake, it's just a stick. So then the alert system is turned off and then going forward. This alert system is associated with the amygdala in your limbic system. So imagine this is a cross section of your brain. Imagine your front area of your brain is like projected like this. So essentially, the amygdala is activating fear. So if amygdala is activating fear, when this happens, when you are not making money, it's not like 1 month or 2 months. It's been years. you're not making enough money. And then, if you are not able to wait until this metaphorical marshmallow, like imagine two kids, one kid is like whenever he gets a marshmallow, he's eating it. Other kid is waiting and waiting for reward. Jeff Bezos said, whether you like him or not, every overnight success Amazon had what took a decade. Every overnight success Amazon had took a decade. So it takes a decade to have an overnight success. When you are successful, people are going to say, oh, look at him. He was an overnight success. The struggles, nobody sees. That's why you need to really understand when you get into entrepreneurship, when you are in entrepreneurship, as you're progressing in this journey of entrepreneurship, as you go through this part of the brain gets activated. The lower part of the brain gets activated. And when the lower part of the brain gets activated, what happens? Your executive function drops, and then your brain might go into fear. So think about it this way, metaphorically speaking, this part of your brain is about faith. This part of the brain thinks that it can walk on water because it has a faith. This part of the brain is the self-doubt. Again, metaphorically speaking, it's almost right, but still, I don't want to gross generalize that. This part of the brain is like, oh, you're not good. You're not good enough. So it's like fear. It's like, no matter what you do, you will not be worthy. That's what this part is saying. So when the fear is triggered, it is so fascinating that there are two types of neurons in this context in your brain. There is something called excitatory neurons. So what are excitatory neurons? Excitatory neurons are those neurons that excites, excites. Like think about it, excites. So when I say excite, I don't want you to think that it's not something that creates excitement. That is not the idea. If you feel happiness, it's excitement. If you feel sadness, it's excitement. If you feel fear, it is excitement. If you feel scared, it's excitement. So the brain cells, there are some brain cells that excites us, that get excited, and those excitement of the neuron. So think about it like a tuning fork. Like you are exciting the tuning fork. You're just hitting it and it's vibrating. Like that, these neurons are creating, like they are actually sending electric signals to other neurons around it. Now, imagine a world where you have fear activated in your brain and it doesn't stop, like a nuclear fission or something. Do you know what a nuclear fission is? Like two cells are like, splitting, and then they keep on doing that. It's a chain reaction of cells being divided, right? So molecules being divided. So what happens? It is an explosion. That's why nuclear reactor or nuclear bomb is like that. Nuclear reactor is a controlled version of nuclear fission. The same way, when you get fearful, if the fear is like continuing and continuing and continuing, and it keep on doing like that, what happens? The fear becomes unstoppable. That is why there are other neurons in your brain called inhibitory neurons. So what the inhibitory neurons does is they basically suppress these neurons that are excited. So their job is basically suppression. So just like in life, right? There are some people who are too excited, some people who just pull you down, calm you down. So these neurons, essentially, what it does is they bring the excitement down. If it's fear down. If it's happiness down. If you're getting so happy and you cannot stop with the happiness, like if you started laughing, you were watching like Dave Chappelle, and all of a sudden you were laughing you're laughing with the joke, and all of a sudden you cannot stop laughing. If you cannot stop laughing, what would happen? You'll just continue laughing like that. That's why we have inhibitory neurons. Okay, inhibitory neurons. So again, keep in mind, the business journey is like this. Okay, and when this happens, the excitatory neurons in your limbic system gets activated. And when they get activated, somebody has to get them down. That's why we have front area of your brain, And in the front area of your brain, prefrontal cortex, predominantly this part of your brain activates to inhibit those excitatory neurons. It is so fascinating, right? So it's like one person is like, and the other person is like, calm down, it's okay, it's okay. And whoever wins this fight, that's how we are going to go. Imagine like Mike Tyson going on a fight, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the fight, he gets so much excited and angry, and he bites his opponent's ears and bites it off. What happened? It's called an amygdala hijack. Amygdala hijack. So the lower part of the brain, the fear part of your brain, hijack the front area of your brain. You wouldn't want that to happen. And we all get emotional. We all get angry. We all get mad. We are all humans. But you don't want to turn that into violence. Like, you don't want to turn that into violence. So back to this, like when this happens, you're scared, the lower part is activated. Now we need to have the front area of your brain to calm us down. This is what we call as handling of uncertainty. This is why I say that business is learning to handle uncertainty. Once you are able to handle uncertainty in business, then you know how to move to the next level. If you are not able to manage your uncertainty by using your front area of your brain, there are so many ways that will help you activate your front area of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, meditations. Generally, the prayer, most of the religious prayers, religious and non-religious spiritual prayers, they all have this attribute in common. So generally speaking, all meditations, all spiritual methodologies, they lead you to having an activation of your prefrontal cortex, which is so cool thing. So if you're practicing a religion, some sort of spirituality, some sort of meditation, cool, that's very useful. Do it for your religious reasons, so you go to wherever you want to go, plus activating your prefrontal cortex. That is so amazing. And there are things that you could do to activate your prefrontal cortex even more. Like imagine one small practice that I have for you today is breathing, imagining breathing through your forehead. Especially if you could imagine breathing through your forehead. Imagine your nose is here and you're breathing in through that. Imagine you could breathe that the air could come in a color in your imagination. So you could see, let's say, pink color. And if you could see with the pink color breathing into your forehead. So imagine you're breathing into your forehead and you breathe out pink color out of it. There are multiple dimensional significance for that. One dimension of significance is that just because of the fact that you're breathing through your forehead, naturally activate your inhibitory type neurons. I'm not saying all the neurons in the front area of your brain is inhibitory neurons. They have more inhibitory functions than the limbic system or the emotional part of your brain. Okay. So the idea is that you need to understand is the more active your front area, more executive function, visionary function, management function, more control, more discipline when needed, discipline, controlled or selective discipline you will have from the prefrontal cortex. So when you are breathing in the way I told you, these neurons, when you're breathing in the way I told you, what happens to these neurons is these neurons will get activated. Because you're focusing on your forehead, these neurons that are in the front area of your brain. Imagine this is your forehead, and if this in the front area of your brain gets activated. Number one, because you're focusing on that, right? Hindus call it the third eye, right? And there are some meditations that activates third eye and things like that. And that's a different topic. But now imagine that like those brain areas are activated. That's number one. Number two is you're using the color. So usually this area of your brain is associated with willpower. So which means that just like nature has like 7 colors pretty much, right? 7 colors and some gradients of that. So rainbow has like 7 colors. So this color in Eastern tradition represents purple or pink color represents willpower. So if you're seeing a pink color and breathing in, like what happens is your willpower will increase. And there are so many other ways to increase willpower, which I will discuss with you too. Another thing is the fact that you're seeing a color is imagination. Seeing a color when your eyes are closed is imagination. That's a human faculty. That is a prefrontal cortex function, which means we use our prefrontal cortex to imagine, to even for the fact of imagining a color, breathing in instead of nose, you are switching it to the forehead and you're imagining. Even for that, you need imagination. For imagination, you are using the prefrontal cortex neurons, which means in triple dimension, this is going to help you activate your prefrontal cortex. And then if you just do it one time, is it going to be, you are going to be like walking on water? No. If you continuously do that, like consistently, let's say for 5 to 10 minutes every day for the next 3 months, sometimes you might start to feel that sensation in your forehead. If you do this for 1 year or 2 years, 3 years, you might start to see people are like, when they talk to you, you will see that they are respecting you more. They are listening to you more. They feel a sense of power when you're in front of them. So let's not get there yet. Let's get started with probably with 5 minutes, breathing into your forehead, and understand that this journey called entrepreneurship is uncertain. It's not a predictable journey. It's unpredictable. Some people might get lucky and they might go like this. Okay, I was not one of them. Most people are not. So let's understand that and allow our brain to be regulated as you're traveling to your highest level of business destiny. See you next time.